Welcome to Fantasia, home of the melodious. My name's Azallea, and today gonna be bringing you guys a little tutorial on how to turn your favorite cards into tokens. So to begin, here on the screen I have two examples of tokens that I've already previously created. They are Phantom Knights cards from Premium Gold 3 that I thought the art looked just amazing to me. They're really cool. But they're really cheap cards and nobody really uses them at all because their effects are pretty mediocre. So I decided to take those cards and change them into tokens. So to begin with this project, we are going to start with the materials that you need. And of course, the hardest thing to get is the card that you want to change into a token. For this example, this tutorial, I'm going to use the Phantom Knights of Dark Gauntlets, as you see on the screen here, just to complement the other two that I've already created. Again, it's a card that was from Premium Gold 3, nobody used it, and so I decided it'll look pretty good. You will also need token cards for the base of this token that you're creating. So if you had structure decks or anything like that where you got tokens with it, these common tokens, doesn't really matter what the art is because we're going to cover it up. Or if you got like legendary collections and you got ultra rare tokens, you can also use those as well. Now both of these tokens, they cost between like 10 or 20 cents each online. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them on eBay, you can get them on TCG Player. I'd really recommend just picking up a bunch of these because they're really cheap and you can just make a variety of tokens with them. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use a common token just to complement the other two that I've already created. But if you want your token to look a little bit more fancy, you can use the ultra rare tokens where you have the ultra rare text at the top. So the other materials that you're going to need for this little project should be typical household items. You should have them laying around somewhere, but if you don't, you can always raid your local elementary school's art classroom and get them from the storage closets. So starting off with some of the materials that you're going to need for this project, you're going to need some form of paper towels. It doesn't matter what kind that you have, you just need one piece to be able to put at the bottom of your sink so that the little bits and pieces of paper that come off the card don't clog your drain. You also need another piece to dry off your card once you take it out of the water. So the second material that you're going to need is some way to cut the card image out of the card that you picked for the artwork that you want to put onto your token. You can use a pair of scissors, or you can use what I prefer, a straight edge along with an X-Acto knife or any other kind of retractable blade with a really sharp edge. So I prefer these because they give me really clean cuts with the sharp blade, and the straight edge also helps help my cuts be more accurate and precise so the image comes out looking as nice as possible. Next off, you have your choice of glue that you can use to adhere your image to your token base. Now you can use different types of glue, whatever you want. Of course, there's the bottle glue and there are glue sticks. Now I prefer using a glue stick because the final product tends to come out much nicer, and you don't have to put your tokens under like a bunch of textbooks or weights to keep them flat. The glue stick tends to keep things very nice. And so this Dark Magician token that we have here was made using the bottle of glue, and as you can see, there's a little ridge that formed that doesn't really look too nice because the foil started to curl and air pockets start to form underneath it. The two tokens that I showed you at the beginning of the video was actually made using the glue stick, and so that's what I prefer. I've used both methods, of course, as you can see, and I just had better results with the glue stick overall. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is plug up your sink and fill it up with some water. Now if you don't want to use your sink for this, you can get a small container or anything that can hold a small amount of water. Because you're gonna want to soak your card in it, so anything that can fit your card is pretty much fine. Once you have enough water, all you need to do is take your card that you want to make into a token and place it into the water. It doesn't need to go to the bottom or anything, you can just let it float at the top. Just make sure that you keep the back of the card facing toward the water so that it can soften up and be easier to tear off later. This part takes a while, so you're probably going to need around 30 minutes for this to happen. So after your card has been soaking in the water for about half an hour to an hour, you can see that it starts to curl up from all the moisture. This is good, and this tells you that your card is ready to get worked on. So starting in one of the corners, you just separate the foil from the cardboard backing of the card. Now sometimes it becomes a little difficult and the little pieces start tearing off. That is completely fine. You just put it back into some water to get it wet so that you can start working with it some more. If you find it difficult like I did in that first corner, you can always find another corner to start with. You want to get as much of the paper away from the foil as possible, so it's really important that you're really slow and careful with this. You don't want to bend the foil. If you bend the foil or if you crease the foil, then that crease or fold is permanent. You can't get rid of it. No matter how much you try to flatten it, the foil will be permanently creased. So you have to be very careful in trying to keep the card straight and just peel off that cardboard backing, the part where it has the Konami and the Yu-Gi-Oh logo. You want to get that off as I'm doing here. Make sure you're doing it slowly. I'm always flipping the card over to check the foil because I see that there's a little crease there, but it's fine because that part of the crease is not on the card artwork. As long as the card artwork is intact, you should be fine, because that is the only part of the card that you will need. So here, as you can see, I'm tearing off the entire back cover of the card. It might seem a little messy and stuff at first, but trust me, this is typical of what you're going to experience. So you can just discard that to the side, and now you see that there's all this fuzzy paper coating at the back, right? We want to try and get rid of this as much as possible, all the fuzzy coating that you see there. So the first thing that you're going to do is drain the water in your sink. You don't need the water anymore because your card had already been soaking in it. So now what you want to do is take one of those paper towels that I mentioned in the materials section, and you take the paper towel and you put it at the bottom of your sink. Make sure it covers up that little drain area. Put some water on the paper towel to make sure that it sticks and adheres to the sink's edge so that it doesn't come off later. So now what you want to do is gently rub the back of your card using your thumb or one of your fingers, and as you can start to see, the little fuzzy parts of the paper start to come off. Now I prefer rubbing the card while it's under running water. This just helps to wash off all of the excess paper that is coming off of the card, and you can clean it much more easily. Make sure it's just a small stream, you don't need too much, no need to waste the water, but this could take up to maybe 5-10 minutes of your time, depending on how clean you want to get it, and depending on how much paper you ripped off initially when you're getting rid of the back cover of the card. So yeah, I'll fast forward this and jump into where I am finishing up with the card. Alright, welcome back, guys. So we are cleaning up the rest of the foil, just a little bit of paper left on it, and before you finish, make sure you rinse off your foil to get rid of all the excess little fuzz of paper that is gonna linger on your card. Shake off some of the excess water, but be careful not to bend or crease your foil, as that would ruin the entire thing, right? So now, as you can see, it looks much more cleaner now on the back of the foil. The more paper that you get off, the better, because any excess paper on your card will add additional thickness to your card. So when you're making your tokens, if you want to put into a card sleeve or something like that, you want to minimize the thickness of the card. So the cleaner that you get your foil, the less noticeable it will be. So when you're done, make sure you go and grab another paper towel so that you can dry off your foil. Make sure that you gently apply pressure or gently rub the foil so as to not crease or bend the card. But you do want to get the foil completely dry before you go ahead and cut the image out and then glue it to your token, obviously. So we'll fast forward through some of this and I'll show you the end result. So here we have our completed foil that we removed the backing from and dried off. So now I'm going to take my straight edge and put it at the edge of the border. So you know how the card art has a little border around it that usually comes with it. It's usually a gray border, but since this card is a gold card, it has a gold border. You want to keep that border so that when you go and put it the image over the token, you're gonna have that border along with it. So yeah, you got to make sure that you're very, very precise when you're cutting this the card foil. This is just so that when you put the image on top of the token image, that it completely covers the image on the token card. So here I'm just removing each of these sides and discarding any of the excess stuff that's left over. Of course, you can keep it if you want to make another mini project of your own where you, I don't know, mess with cards, you know, exchange card text between cards or something like that. Whatever you want to do with it. I just discard it, but yeah, so cutting all four sides, make sure to get rid of the border, make sure the cuts are clean, and as you can tell from the video that the knife I'm using is extremely sharp, so be careful when you're using it, of course, but it's also really nice that you can go with 1 or 2 cuts and just remove the card completely. Okay, like just ignore that little bit right there. I promise you the knife is really sharp. So yeah, cutting off the last border here. I'm just showing this to you in real time so that you can see what how I do it. So there are no questions that you can have about this. This is exactly what I do when I made the other 2 tokens. So yeah, cutting off the card effect text right there, and now we are left with our final product. So here we are with our final product. It looks really, really nice now, doesn't it? And you see how we kept that little gold border around the edge. That is there so that we can cover up the border on the token card as well. So now here we have our token card. I'm going to use one of those Monarch tokens that you get from the Monarch structure deck. And then now we're gonna put that image that we just cut out on top of it. So now just grab your glue of choice. I prefer a glue stick, so just gonna uncap that real quick and then get rid of that little stub right there because I don't want that ruining my card. Anyway, when I get back, I just gently apply the glue to the back of the foil, making sure that I'm only pushing the glue stick in one direction. If you're going to be sliding your glue stick around in multiple directions, you have a higher chance of damaging your foil, you know, folding it or creasing it, and you don't want that to happen. So just be very gentle with the foil, take your time with it. You've come this far, you don't want to mess up now. But also make sure that you apply a generous amount. Make sure you get all the corners, you get all the edges, and you get everywhere in between so that you don't get any air pockets left when you put the foil down. So here I am trying to put the image over the token. The good thing about the glue stick is that if you mess up, it is completely fine because the glue stick isn't like wet glue where it gets all over the place, it gets really messy. So if you mess up, you can always take the foil off and then try and reapply it. So here, I think I realized somewhere over here that the bottom border isn't really lined up from the foil and the token. So again, you can just really easily peel it off. If you need to reapply glue, just reapply glue. But I'm just going to go ahead and try to put the foil back onto the token. Yeah, this takes a lot of time, and the camera was kind of in my way, to be honest, but it takes some time. Just make sure you get it right so that it looks really nice. You can use your thumb to make sure that there are no air pockets left under it. So here we are with our finished product. It looks really nice, very shiny. Depending on the foil that you use, you'll get different results, but I used a gold secret rare, so it's really shiny. But yeah, that does it for the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you out in making your tokens. I know that a lot of people, before they wanted to make it, they want to see someone else do it step by step so that they don't mess up. What I would suggest to you is that you take a foil card that you don't really care about, that's just one laying around, and practice on it first. Once you get the techniques down, I would try using it on whatever card that you really want to make into a token then. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.